All right, hot, 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 hot. Morning, afternoon, and good evening. It's TGIF. It's Doc here, and there's look at I see Benny on. Hey Benny, hey Mountain. We're rocking. Hot, 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 hot. 339,000 jobs. Unemployment rate leaps to 3.7. Hot, 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 hot. All right. Stock market seems to be, last I looked, it didn't seem to be doing anything particular. I mean, it's just playing the top end of the range that everybody's been talking about in the technical world now for, 3 or 4 months. It's hitting on the S&P 500, it's hitting the 4250 and stopping there for the moment. We'll see how they play that out. But it's okay, so month-to-month hourly wages were fine. Let's see, 34.3. Average work weeks have dropped a little bit, just slightly. What else we got going on here? Not eating yogurt out there. Oh, I was watching the tennis match yesterday afternoon. Indeed, the women were playing. And I saw Polina. Darn it, I meant to say something. Polina was on my Facebook wall. Let me go say hi to her and say, we were talking about tennis and you. Who knows, maybe she'll pop down. Her and Giannis not always saw eye to eye, let's put it that way. All right, let me go find her. Yeah, because it would be fun to see her jump in. Talked about you and tennis in yesterday's webinar. Gotta do this fast before Robin yells at me. All right, talked about you and tennis in yesterday's webinar. Right, there you go. So, what do we got here? We can see the dollar index up on top of it. No, I've got the euro up there right now. Let's go to the dollar index, see what the dollar is doing against, the rest of the products or the other pairs trades out there. There it is, right there. You see, we've moved off of that 104.5 area down to 103.50. The Senate moved even faster than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be Sunday night, Monday, but they got 63 votes to get it passed. So that's pretty cool. They got that done. So there we are. You can see we're getting some red out of it on the J4X. Over on Chicago Quant, same situation. We closed. Well, we've been in a daily sell. Is that it right there? Yeah, that's it. The dollar index. It's been in a daily sell for 4 days. It's been battling to find a way to roll over. Weekly's still in that weekly buy. So it's going to be a little hard to figure out. So wonder what the expectation was. Unemployment expectation. Because they're saying hot, 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 hot. Interest rates are dropping a little bit, it looks like to me. And you can see here the stock market now on the S&P 500 has made that shift from down hitting the manifold to turning back up again. In this case here, it's the white line is trying to break underneath the manifold. This is the short term. Looks like they're going to play around with the 50 area. See how they treat that for a bit. Let's see. Mountain says French Opens, U.S. dollar selling off this week. Yogurt. I watch tennis all day long. Good. We have to get tennis out of the way before Robin comes in. I know. Uh-oh. He spotted us. We're in trouble. There's Metho. There's Robin. Hey, guys. 10 what? Let's see. Yeah, the inflation. That inflation is gonna until Biden is gone. We're gonna see that inflation sit around in the fives. I would say. I think that's where it's gonna be. Until then. Trump was saying something in a campaign speech yesterday. He'll clean this mess up in 6 months. I agree with him. He's got that magic wand that Obama wished for. You remember how Obama was wishing that someone would have a magic wand to fix things, and then Trump took over and fixed things in like 6 months. It was like phew, done. It's just all man-made, you know, things getting screwed up from people doing stupid things. Government people doing stupid things. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. So, what else we got to say here? What else can I say? I guess that's about it. Dollar index to me, as long as it's, let me go back to it on the Chicago Quant. As long as it's in that weekly buy, at least the daily is leading us there. Maybe next week. Maybe it's, as they would say in the hedge fund industry, it's not this week's work. It's next week's work. And I think that's where it's at. We'll see if they get into a weekly sell next week. And that is the answer to that. Now, from there, let's go over to the euro. Let's see what the euro is up to. So there's the euro. Let's put the euro up on Chicago Quant, and you can see there, second day in a buy, lifting. It's trying to keep on lifting. What we need to see is, you see how the fast algorithm right here on the weekly is trying to get through the manifold. So again, it could be next week's work when it comes to this too at the same time. Also, remember, we're coming into the summer months, so anything's possible. Remember, sell in May, go away, that type of stuff. Yeah, that's nothing. He's going to clean them off with no problem. You got to be kidding me, really? You thought that nuclear deal was right? I can see someone. I'll give you a bone, okay? I can see people wanting peace instead of war. No problem there. I dig that. I agree with it. You know, but ask Neville Chamberlain how that worked appeasing bullies. That's the problem. And so it was very clear from the beginning that it was a dead deal. It was a bad deal. It was absurd, especially when they're one of the leading countries in terrorism at the same time. So I couldn't even agree with it. I guess it was the only reason. Valerie Jarrett, is it? She's a Persian, I think, in the Obama administration. She's was in the Biden administration, and I think that she's very pro Ayatollah or something like that. So and then I believe really that Obama is a Sunni. He was raised more of a Sunni than it was no, not Sunni. Yeah, than the other. I forget what the other one is. There's two main branches of Islam, and I think Mr. Obama was with the Persians, and so I think that's what really I didn't agree with that process whatsoever, solely because they didn't show any sincerity. Let's see. What else? Oh, they're still reporting. Let's see. Professional business service up 64,000. Government up 56,000. 56,000 more people added in the government. Healthcare 52. Leisure and hospitality is up 48,000, and transportation and warehouse up 24,000. So, that really, I think that itself was a bad deal. And as much as Mr. Biden tried to follow through on it, it seemed to fall apart. Let's see what else we got going. And so from the euro, let's see. Let's go over to the British pound. Let's see what the British pound is up to. And there's cable right. No, not there. Oh, here. Okay, there you go, Benny. There's what are they doing to your currency this morning? Are they smacking it? Let's go take a look at the cable Aussie first, and then we'll go to cable dollar pairs trade. There we are. And you see here they're doing that same thing. It's a smackadoodle city. Crash bang, and oh, look at that. They just, they started down lower last night. It's going through the daily sell. We're getting close to that. And look at that. They're going after the weekly. Wasn't this thing in a weekly for like a long time? Yeah, so it's been in a weekly since February. The tail end of February. And so, is that right? Yeah, February. The last weeks of February went into the weekly buy. So, here we are going into June, finally making a challenge to the weekly number. On a Friday, no less. Yeah. So that's definitely a little shake them up type stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Right. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Euro in a buy. There is one nuclear deal that will work. Kaboom. Right on. More nukes, less kooks. The rain in Iran has to change before we throw them a bone. I agree totally. Yep. And then Robin says, we can't let nuclear go kaboom because once you let the genie out of the bottle, you can't put it back in. I don't know about that, but we'll go with there. Well, let's put it this way. It's not a passive weapon, so it'll definitely make a lot of noise. It's like daisy cutter times, 10 to the 10th power. Anyhow, that is that. Now let's go to the regular cable. But look at that, Benny. They're really putting a push into the GBP AUD. And we're flirting right now. We are both. We are playing with the daily sell right here with no problem. And at the same time, we are playing with the weekly sell. Like smack-a-doodle. All right, and that was in a buy since like February back in here. In the 170, the 175 area, and got up to 190 over what? Basically all of March, all of April, all of May, 3 solid months, and then going into a week and a week on the other side. You're talking about like 13, 14, 15 weeks in a buy. That's a quarter of the year. That's something. All right, now let's go over to cable. And right there. And so there you can see cable lifting nicely. And let's put cable up on J4X. No, it's on J4X. Let's put it up on Chicago Quad right there. You see, same thing. It's been in a buy for 4 days. And we are flirting with the weekly buy. The fast is busted through the manifold. The green is riding the manifold. And the fast has also lifted through the zero line. So we're seeing some strength come in here. All right, and then we go over to Swissy. Let's see what Mr. and Mrs. Swiss is doing this morning. And all the little Swisses abroad. There you go. Oh, good. Okay, it's starting to get into the sell also. But look at it. It's higher today than it was yesterday's close. So did they get it into the sell yesterday? What is that? No. They didn't get into the sell yesterday, and it's still in that buy, and let's widen this a little bit more. There we go. Let's widen that out a little bit so you can see it better. And so It's trying. It is trying. And let's move that zero line down so you can see the difference. Right there. So it's just hanging and breaking underneath as you speak. You see it's minus 0.000, 3 zeros and a 24. So it's feeling the pressure there. And you see on the green is at 49. So it's minus 0.3 zeros, or as I like to say when I went to school in England, Zs. I always liked zero being Z. Z for some reason sounded better. And so it's at 3 Zs and a 44. So I use Z. I like that instead of zero sometimes. Z. And then you can see here, where we got it? Do we have it up there? Yes. Let's put the Swiss up on J4X. Right there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Looky with that cookie. Yeah, there's a red. Just like over here. And the pressure's on. And it's doing a little rollover thing. You see the lines. You see yellow's at 56. You see the green is at 46. It's well underneath it. It's giving you the warning sign like down, down, down you go. All right. Let's see how they roll. Now from there we'll go to the yen. The yenski. You know what? I think I need a sip of tea. Let me sip my tea. Put the yen up on both screens. Oop, that didn't work. Let's try that one more time. There is the yen. And let's put the yen up over here. Over here. Over there. The Yanks are coming. Look at that. 3 reds with the yenski. This is the yenski, and it's on its 4th day in the sell. And you can see the yellow over here is at 35, or is that 36? What is that? And the green is at 23. They're really putting a punch on that one. It's trying to head down Smackadoodle City. Now, brown cow. Sip time. This morning we're having oolong with ginger tea. I always do 2 different combinations. Fun tea. Sometimes it's black tea with like a mint, or a black tea with some type of energizing, like what's those? Oh, I drink all kinds of teas, but they're all kind of, and then I combination them with 2 different teas that blend together. And this morning we're having ginger tea lemon, no less, and oolong combined together. What a good combination that is. So now from there, you see the yen doing its job. Notice the weekly is still holding up pretty well in here. And I guess this is probably the scary bounce thing going on. We're seeing the line trying to turn up really hard and quick coming through the manifold. So this little dead cat sell, I guess you could say, or bounce that we've had could be short-lived. Half-life. Now, let's go over to, where are we going over to? We're going over to Turkish lira. There it is. Now, yesterday they were wild and woolly again. Today they've started off slow and steady and trying to get into a sell. You can see that a blast off they're doing with the weekly now. They're not, obviously not that concerned, are they? It's going to be, I think that's going to be the recipe now. Until things change in Turkey, I think we're going to see just flat out illiquid trading going on. It's going to be very hard. Janos was saying something. I think he was in one of the bazaars over there, maybe. He was saying something about you go in there and you go into like a market, and instead of price tags on things now, they just say we will negotiate. That's what it comes down to. So it's probably easier just because of the dynamics of changing values. Tay. From there, where do we go from there? From yen, we go over to the king peso, most powerful peso on the earth, the Mexican peso. It's the granddaddy of the BRICS now. I don't know if it's official yet or not, but the country says it's going brick. So if it's going to be a brick, it's going to be the most powerful brick in the world, right there, out of all those brick stocks. And let's put it up over here. You see it? It's gaining against the dollar today nicely. You see there, it's not taking out the lows of mid-May yet. And you can see we've been in a weekly sell. Depending, like on the fast, it was up in here in the 118-ish area from, was that like 118.30 or 25 or something like that. The slow went into a sell that same week, bounced back up, and then fell apart again. So that's where we're at the moment. Now you can see the fast is trying to, pick its head up, I guess you could say. It's starting to lift here a little bit. It's through the manifold for a second week, going on a third week, it looks like. And you can see the bounce that the slow got, and then it's rolled over again. And so I'm just figuring that this is going to stay the way it is. Now from there, we slide over to, I guess what we do is we go and look at the Canadian. And we look at the energy market at the same time. So there is the Canadian. And you can see it's that it really supported that triangle thing going on. It rode the top of it for a little bit, and then for about 4 or 5 days, and then broke down again. We went into a sell here, and let's grab one of these sells. It's been in the sell since there, and so you can see here the weekly has pierced. We're definitely going into a weekly at this point. There, for the last couple of days, actually, it's been through the weekly. Once it breaks that manifold, the odds are so high that it's going to stay in the sell, that it's almost like 99% that it's going to be, no, not that color, pink. There we are. It's going to stay in the sell, and so that's where it broke right there. And you can see we were in the sell here, and then it's like Smackadoodle City, and it's knock it down and roll in the mud type stuff going on. And when we see the Canadian doing that, we go over to, let's go to J4X. We're going to put up light sweet crude Texas tea. Right there. You can see that has been bouncing down. I know today they're playing with the upside. Now, this is kind of odd. Usually when oil goes down, and you can see that Canadian was trying to go down, but was having a real problem there. And then finally it broke yesterday. And let's put up on Chicago Quant. Let's see, where's that at? Right there. Let's put the oil up there. And there's the front month oil contract. It's been falling down. That makes Canadian go up and away. Let's put Canadian back up on here now. We'll put Canadian on the J4X right there. And you can see it was kind of trying to go up these days, and then these last 2 days, as we had that nice strong move yesterday, it didn't get the it didn't get the histogram and everything through the zero line, but it sure did today. It's definitely very firm there, coming off that low of 3 days ago of the 67 almost even area, and here we are almost $5 higher. At the 71.73. So, it's been a nice little bounce, and that makes total sense why you're seeing those two big bars on the Canadian, heading down, gaining against the dollar. And that's because oil has turned up again. Oh, yeah, I know. Turkish lira, let's see. Turkish lira over 22. That's nuts. I know. Well, it's liquid at this point. President Aragon and his objectivity of what he's been doing has been to try to devalue the currency to get the economy going. It's one of those socialist things, you know. They always come up with these ideas instead of taking the money away from the politicians and letting the people be creative and try to grow. They think that government is the issue. In other words, government can solve everything. One size fits all. You know, politicians know better, and individuals are stupid. So they have to be babysitted by the government. That's what that currency is showing. It's nothing. It's not showing anything less but that. That's what it's showing. It's that the taxation and the devaluation of the currency from 1 to 22. That's a pretty nasty punch in the face. That is. That's like lose a finger too. Ouch. And we have Jojo the monkey here pulling the same shenanigans. So, no big surprise out of all of it, really. No big surprise whatsoever. Now, from there, so from there, we go over to, let's see, we did cruise. Oh, we go to South African Rand. I was talking with two farmers. That's I didn't mention that yesterday when I did was it yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago, I was talking with, they were cut herring. They were running some big tractors. I should have taken pictures of it. I think I did. I'll go find the pictures if I did. They were cutting. They were knocking down a field that had asparagus in it, and the two guys doing the tractor work were from South Africa, and it was like, oh, they were out towards the Rhodesian side of it, not the Durban side of the country. That's good. And so, yeah, that was something. Oh, the South African Rand. Oh, he was like, oh my God, our Rand is worthless. He's like, it's at almost 20. It's like, it's going through the same problems as in many ways, it's going through the same problems as the Turkish lira. The government is a nanny state. It wants to be your mommy and daddy. It wants to tell you how to live your life. Oh, thank you. Yeah, nanny state. Let's see. Let's put it up here. The Tsar. There it is. The Tsar, 1942. You can see they popped that puppy, almost hit the 20. Look at that. 1991. This is the second largest brick currency in the world, the South African Rand. And the poor thing is getting beat up because they have a government that's out of control, not willing to follow the law. Let's see. Carlos, world number 1 and 3, both playing today. Oh, as a pair? Cool. So, I didn't hear back from Polina. Let me see. It's not 26 minutes ago. She may not be looking at the... I'll hear from her later. And so, yeah, that's... And what are we putting up here? Let's, what's this? Oh, yes, the South African Rand. Let's put the South African Rand up on the screen. It's the second largest. So the Mexican peso is probably going to be like 50 some odd % of the BRIC index. And then the South African Rand will probably be like 18% of the BRIC index. They'll make up almost 70% themselves. And then the Indian rupee will be the next one in there, probably like 8 or 10% or something like that. And that'll be like, they'll be up into the 80 percentile before they can put all the rest of the junk in there. I don't know what they're going to do with the Brazilian real. They may not even put it in the index. I wouldn't. I wouldn't make something that illiquid. And it's a real toss-up with a coin. They may put like 2% of the yuan in there, the Chinese yuan. But again, it's a real tough thing to want to put in an index when it's not really liquid or productive, I mean, I saw somebody show a statistics yesterday that the amount of imports, no, the amount of imports America takes in from China every year is the growth this year. That's it. They're not growing unless they sell it to us, because they're not selling it to anybody else, it seems like. And if they do, it's not going anywhere. There's Benny. Oh, let's see. No, not as a pair, both playing other people. Oh, okay. Hey again, Doc and everyone. Well, that's nice, Ben. I'm glad you jumped in there again. That's cool. Has anybody seen this TV show called Ted Lasso? It's on Apple TV. It's a it's a 3-season. It just ended. It's not having a 4th season. It could easily have a 4th season. It was a really, really, really good show. Yep. Oh, did you see it, Robin? What do you think? I thought it was great. Benny, did you go long on gold yesterday? He was playing with it. I know that. He took $100 hit at one point, I thought. Again, that's that vehicle. And then Robin always, Robin in the money management theory, it's like, don't get stopped out. Let's go over and take a look at gold. Now do you mention gold? Since that's what it is. We didn't put gold up there anyway. So let's get gold up on the screen. And let's see. So South African Rand is trying to roll over. So that must mean gold must be up. Boy, look how bad it is. I mean, the Rand is losing value and gold is gaining at the same time. It's like, oh my God, the poor thing is, they've really hurt. This president of South Africa must go away because he's just dragging the country down. Look at that. 4 days. Actually, that day was a plus day from the day before. So you have 4 days of up. And today, actually, it made a new high and is lower today than it was yesterday. And that's the gold right there. So they made a charge to the $2,000 area. Yesterday's high was $2,000.50. And the day before that was $2,000.70. About $2,001 basically, rounding out. So, and the South African Rand should be trading in the 14s, not the 19s. He won't resign, and it's just hurting the country. Decided to stay out and just watch from the sidelines. Yeah, I hear you. Very good, very smart. You don't need to get stopped out again. So unemployment popping up, stock market lifting, thinking lower interest rates. And that's pretty much where my head's at. I don't see any real dramatic changing any of this. All right, now, brown cow. Let's go over to silver, since we just did gold and we're done the currencies. Unless you want to see something in the currencies. Let's see. Let's go to silver. There's silver. Silver really lethargic in a buy for 3 days. The weekly is trying to climb up. The fast has pierced the negative side of the manifold, and it is hunting and fishing towards the 0 line. And then when we look at gold, I guess we could look at gold the same way. There's gold. Gold, it's even more anemic. So the daily buy here was the dead cat bounce. It was a dead cat bounce, and they sold it down. And now you see here it bouncing at 1950-ish area, more like 60. And you got yourself a buy going on in there. And the next thing you know, it's trying to lift. But we'll see, because that weekly is kind of, like I said, is anemic, and it's the summertime, so they're not really getting things going. Mountain said, oh, here we go. Benny says, yeah, Doc, let's take a look at GBP AUD again. Okay, sure. And there we go. There she blows. There it is. Activate. Yeah, see that? It's got that pressure thing going on. And that last win was a good win. So now we're actually playing with the... Look at that. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw this in there, and then if it changes over the day, we'll fix it. But it looks like it's going to go into the weekly sell this week. It's playing with the daily sell as we speak right now. Might as well just put it in there. We'll see how that goes. See if it holds up by the end of the day. You on socials? Dead cats don't meow. Well, if it's part of the Copenhagen situation, what do they call it? The Copenhagen, not continuum. Copenhagen, not paradox. Copenhagen, what do they call it? The Copenhagen, let me go look it up. I've lost it. My brain is going in too many directions. We're getting hit with too much sunspot stuff the last couple of days. Oh, I just saw a warning, Robin, on major airlines because of the way the north and south pole are shifting, and we just got hit with it. We're getting hit with a class 4 CME heading partly towards Earth, I believe. So that's going to have some effect on us also. Conjecture, that's it. I didn't have to look it up. Copenhagen conjecture. In a Copenhagen conjecture, a cat can be dead and alive, dead or alive, and meow. It can. That's the great warning from Schrodinger. Schrodinger was very against the Copenhagen conjecture, of quantum mechanics. But in quantum mechanics, a cat can meow when it's dead. Okay? Hey, don't fight with me. You bitch to Madame Curie and Al Einstein and Mr. Planck and Mr. Heisenberg, and the only one of them standing up and saying no, 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 it was Schrodinger. And what do? They take his warning and turn it into an affirmation. Yeah, they take his warning and say, oh no, Schrodinger was right there. He thinks that you can have a cat dead or alive, and it can be meowing in either situation. Yeah. Crazy, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's see. What else we got here? Let's see. Mountain says AUD dollar index. Let's check that out. AUD. AUD, huh? I don't think we have the weekly on this, though. I got to go back and try to fix that. There's just a daily there. And so you can see that there. What's interesting is when you look at the New Zealand weekly. Let's take a look at that New Zealand weekly. There you go. Activate. Yeah, see, it's been in the weekly sell for a couple of weeks. And it's just trying to turn up a little bit in here. So we'll see. We will see. We shall see. I can see. You can see. We can see. There it is again. All right, now from the dollar AUD, dead cats can't meow. Yes, they can. I just told you it's in the Copenhagen conjecture. Mountain, you on socials? What level should we be looking at? What levels on what? GBP AUD is on a sell in the H1, H4. Oh, I see. But shows just a pullback on a daily. The current pullback could be just temporary, right? I agree. But look at the weekly. In our work, the weekly is being challenged at the same time. Nostradamus. I like that. Nostradamus. Benny says Telegram. Yes, Telegram. And Robin says, an orange because a vest has no sleeves. The Mountain says, West, what is your Telegram? And then Benny says, GBP AUD, Doc. Okay, it's up there now, isn't it? Yeah, it's on there. Tumi. Okay. So there we are. What else we got going on there? We got South African Rand up on J4. Let's move that to the GBP AUD. Right there. It's got that big red going on. Tarzan, what's going on? All right, let's take a look at the weekly on that J4X. And there is the weekly. And it looks like it's a red line right there. Right there. Huh, look at that. Look at the weekly on J4X is saying Butkus. Maybe in a couple hours it'll shift. Because we're getting this pressure here. Oh, look, where's the lines at? Why does it do that? Where's the lines? So the yellow is at 57 and the green is at 59. Just hanging in there by its thin little teethies. So, like a little gardener snake that has no teeth, just gums. Yes, indeed. Okay. All right, from there, where do we go from there? Oh, let's see. I mean, the levels to check for the sell. Oh, what? In GBP AUD? Well, we can see it right there. I put the two lines in already on Chicago Quant. See it right there? We're right there. It would probably, there's a good chance that even if it let's say it closed unchanged today, right here. No, I'm sorry. Unchanged from the high. So in other words, let's say it closes at the high of the day. There's a good chance it still stays in a sell on a daily. Same thing with the weekly. We'll know later on. That's for sure. We'll know in hours from now. So if it's down at the lows of the day, it made it into the sell on both the weekly and the daily. Does that make sense to you? Benalia, Ben Ruski, Benola, Benny and the Jets. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that does it, I guess, in the currencies again. We'll drift back over to the metal complex. And we've seen the gold and the silver telling us what they think. Let's take a look at the copper and see what it thinks. That's been a daily buy for 5 days, just like gold and silver have been in buys for days now. And the weekly is trying to turn up again. I don't know. When I see copper, I just think of China. And when I think of China, I think very uneconomically appealing. So it's like, can't really get that out of my head. It's like a picture. It's like, oh no, I don't want to see that picture again. Mountain says Benny and the Jets. If Doc can sing that, I can too. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. From there, I wanted to save that, so let me save that. Copper. All right, now let's go over to, it's been interesting. This, metals traders, be careful. This is what's been bothering me all week long. Look at the platinum. Platinum is staying in a weekly sell with no problem, like the way silver and gold are. Problem is that platinum refuses to get into a daily buy. Matter of fact, there's the first green we've seen in like 7 days. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days back we were in the green on a green dot. Let's put it this way, a green dot. It's not a pretty story, when you really think about it. Platinum has said no. It says no. Platinum says do not trust any up move in these things right now. It actually is sick when he says it. Okay. What's sick? Me? I won't do it if it bothers you. Honestly. But if you think it sounds sick, then I won't do it. I promise you, I won't do it. You'll never hear me say it again. Oh, it's cool. Okay. Yeah, but you know what, Benny? Be careful with this metals complex. I'm glad you're sitting it out. Because look at the way platinum is. It just refuses to get any strength in there. It's being persnickety, as they would say around here. It's just kind of, and in the hedge fund industry, we would say it's kind of sticky. And then we would also say it's not this week's work; it's next week's work. Ah, indeed. All right. From the platinum and the metals, we drift over to the energies, and we've seen what the front month. What do you call this? A front month oil is doing. Oh no, I got to leave that up there. That's right. We're going to take that picture one more time today. And then you can see the weekly trying to get into the weekly buy. That's pretty. Matter of fact, look at it. It's done. It's confirmed because it's through the manifold. Once it gets through that manifold, the chances of it not closing in a weekly buy is almost less than 1%, which is purely amazing to me. Right there and right there. So oil looks like it's marching. Now, I think the back month is in a buy anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, the September contract right there closed in a weekly buy last week, and it didn't do anything good about it. It went into a daily sell and a weekly buy. So it had you in neutral all week. And now it's trying to get into the buy here with no problem. So, that's where we're at this point. Oh, sick means cool. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can dig that. Yeah. I know, I know that too, and I don't know why it didn't relate to it. Sometimes my brain is on stall. I'm going in three directions. Look at it, I couldn't even remember the word conjecture for a while. Imagine me, I can't remember the Copenhagen conjecture. I bitch about it all the time. So, that kitty cat could be dead and still meow in the Copenhagen conjecture, which is better known in plain English as quantum mechanics. Okay. From there, we go over to Nat Gas. Let's see what Nat Gas is doing. Doing what the Robin said it is going to do. It's trying to go back to the $1.50. And you know what? Metho, you're going to have a chance, it looks like, to buy that stuff again. It's been in that daily sell for a bunch of days and a couple of weeks, and definitely not looking like it's trying to lift, that's for sure. Let's see, Mountain says, I want Doc to explain quantum computing. Quantum computing is nothing. That's easy to explain. That's very, What happens is that there's a couple sectors, not concepts, sectors. Right now we do quantum computing storage. Okay? What they're hoping to do is they're hoping to convert basically the MCP or the Master Control Program, the random access memory type of the computing, what do you call that? Compounding. When you write a code and then you compiling. When you're doing your compiling, and so they're hoping to go to a quantum producer. In other words, it does the crunching of the numbers. See, right now we have had quantum computing storage. So in other words, storing data. But what we don't have is quantum computing processing. That's what we don't have. We have it on the sense that we process data from storage in a quantum level, but not in a processing. In other words, the binary, the code, the RAM, the Python, the code itself. And so that's what the thing is. Is this going to be a thing? I like the way you phrase that. What quantum computing? It's going to be ongoing. Problem is that they can't seem to. I gave a friend of mine is a provost at one of the graduate schools in Philadelphia. He's a head of the graduate school in the sciences, and he was saying, I was telling him, we talk about it every so often, but I was telling to him that I think I resolved the quantum computing problem. Thing is that I have no desire to share it in the sense of technology. And what the challenge is that to compile and process code in a quantum state is very hard because they are not able to contain the processing part of it. In other words, it's a gaseous or microscopic, however you want to look at it. It's not microscopic; it's beyond that. It's in a quantum level. But you could theorize it in a sense. Matter of fact, you can. I think we are now doing quantum micro computer compiling and processing. We are doing it on a micro level almost, and that's not a problem. It's beyond the micro level. They're trying to use particles, atomic particles, in that gaseous entity. So in other words, your plus and minuses are actual like electrons and so forth. And so, I mean, on a quantum level, not on a friction level. Here up above the micro universe. Here we're above the micro universe, and so we see the electron being used from a light bulb on. It's used all the time. But the problem is that processing and compiling it in a code that does the crunching of math or a crunching of the code, that's the problem. Okay, does that make any sense? Am I making? I think I made it clear, right? It sounds so easy in my head. I don't know. They have been doing quantum computing pure research for many years. Oh no, it's applied too. Apparently, it is getting closer to reality. The storage, yeah, and at the same time, they've gotten to a micro level on the computer science also, but not the quantum level where you're actually using like argon or something like that. You're using a gas, and it's doing the crunching. We can store in an argon. We can't we can't crunch in it. I know it's a little confusing, the difference between crunching numbers running code and storing binary plus and minuses. But there's a big difference, trust me. Just added to my position a few more minutes ago. What did you just add? Oh, Benny, I'm going long in the AUD dollar and NZD and the euro. They should all be going up. It looks like it. It does look like they're going up. All right. That was nope. I was just adding to my position a few minutes ago. Okay. Remember my TP on AUD dollar from yesterday. I'm still agreeing with that. Oh yeah. Let's go take a look at it. Then I keep that in there for. Let's see what we had there. There it is. There's the 1 hour. We've been in a buy. We went into the buy here at the 65 area, and I said we were going to keep it on there. And then it fell into the sell here at the 65.60 area that we talked about yesterday. That's yesterday. Then it goes back into the buy here, and it's still in the buy. So it went into a buy last night. Was that 3 over? 1, 2, 3. So it went into the buy last night at 65.95. Basically 96. 65.96. And it's climbed to as high as 66.38. And we're still in the buy here. Still in that buy. Yeah, I saved that. Remember, we were looking at it yesterday here. And I thought that it would come up and challenge that area. Challenge this thing here. And this. And then finally challenge this. In the 65.60 area. 65.60. That's what you were talking about yesterday. Let's see now. Let's see. Benny, nope. I'm just added to my position. Remember AUD. I'm still agreeing with that. And it could blow past that to the. What was the TP again? Top price? I think it's up in here in the 66 area. I think that's what we were talking about yesterday, right? There it is. I was showing you this one right here, the 6650 area, and I think that it might be a little bit higher going back a few more weeks. Like what, 66, 60, 75? What's that? The high there is 66, 76, 66, 76, 755, rounding out. You know. So in here you got to figure that line there, the 6660 area. 666. Ah, the devil. Ah. All right, we're out of here, guys, gals, everybody. So we will see you all on Monday. TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. Not yet, because today it's like thank goodness it's Friday. All right, so happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends, and our local rodeo is open every weekend now. Cowboys everywhere. And what do we say? Arrivederci. There you go. One of those spaghetti westerns. Be safe, be smart, traders.